Recording in progress.
Nanay ka parang kita dito sa kaon na kaon. Baka man ang nari.
The session is now called to order. Please stand for the singing of the national anthem.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupit, di ka pasisili.
please remain standing for a moment of silent prayer. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we call the roll of the members.
The Secretary General is directed to call the roll of members.
Roll call of members. Honorable Representatives. Abalos. Abante. Abunda. Acharon. Asidre. Ako. Adyong. Advincula. Agaraw. Alba. Albano. Almario. Almonte. Alonte. Alvarez Jose. Alvarez Mercedes. Alvarez Pantaleon. Amante. Amatong. Angara. Aquino. Aquino Magsaysay. Arbison. Arenas. Arrogancia. Asistio. Atayde. Omentado. Balindong. Barba. Barbers. Baronda. Barzaga. Baskug. Bautista. Bautista Lim. Benitez. Bernos. Bilyones. Biron. Bolilia. Bondok. Bongalon. Bordado. Bosita. Briones. Brosas. Buhain. Bulot Begtang. Bustos. Cabredo. Cagas. Kahayon Uy. Calderon. Calixto. Campos. Kawagdan. Cardema. Cari. Castro Franz. Castro Jean. Celeste. Chan. Chato. Chua. Chungalao. Ko Angelica Natasha. Ko Elizaldi. Ko Pilar. Ko Juanco Jaime. Ko Juanco Mark. Colada. Poliantes. Corvera. Cruz Ambrosio. Cruz Ricardo. Cuwa. Quaresma. Dagook. Dalipe. Dalog. Dayang Hirang. Daza. De Jesus. De Venecia. Defensor. Del Mar. De Los Santos. Dimaporo Muhammad Khalid. Dimaporo City Amina. Dionisio. Domingo. Duavit. Duhali. Duterte. D. Faustino Ino. D. Faustino Michael. D. Ian Paul. Ecleo. Emano. Enciso. Enverga. Escudero. Espares. Espina. Estrella. Udela. Fariñas. Fernandez. Ferrer Antonio. Ferrer Juliet Marie. Flores. Fortes. Frasco. Fresnedi. Fuentebella. Galeos. Garcia Albert. Garcia Dante. Garcia Jose Arturo. Garcia Maria Angela. Garcia Pablo Jan. Garcia Vincent. Guardiola. Garin. Gasataya. Gatchalian. Gato. Go Ed Christopher. Go Mark. Goles. Gomez. Gonzaga. Gonzales Aurelio. Gonzales Neptali. Gonzales Sandro. Goriseta. Gico. Gintu. Gulyas. Gutierrez. Hagidorn. Haresco. Hataman. Hernandez. Herrera. Horibata. Javier. Ko Olga Ara. Ko Ricardo. Ko Wilton. Konghun. Labad-labad. Lacson. Lacson Noel. Lagman. Lagon Daphne. Lagon Sani. Lara. Lazatin. Lee. Legarda. Libanan. Limkaychong. Loyola. Luistro. Lumayag. Makapagal Arroyo. Maceda. Madrona. Magsino. Malapitan. Mangawang. Manikis. Manuel. Marañon. Marcoleta. Marcos. Mariano Hernandez. Marinio. Marquez. Martinez. Mastura. Matibag. Matugas. Mendoza. Mercado. Mercado Revilla. Miguel. Momo. Morden. Nava. Nisay. Noel. Nograles Juan Fidel. Nograles Margarita. Nolasco. Owaminal. Olaso. Olivares. Ongchuan. Ordanes. Ortega. Uano Dizon. Padiernos. Paduano. Paglas, Palma, Panaligan, Pancho, Panotes, Pascual, Peña, Pimentel, Plaza, Leito, Primicia Sagabas, Pumaren, Puno, Kimbo, Rama, Recto, Regencia, Revilla Brian, Revilla Ramon Jolo, Reyes, Rillo, Rivera, Robes, Rodriguez Eulogio, Rodriguez Rufus, Roman, Romero, Romualdez Ferdinand Martin, Romualdez Ieda Marie, Romualdo, Romulo, Roque, Sakdalan, Sagarbaria, Sakaluran, Salceda, Sali, Salimbangon, Salo, Salvame, Santos, Saulug, Silverio, Singson Richel, Singson Ronald, Singson Mihan, Solon, Soriano, Suwan, Suwansing Horacio, Suwansing Micaela Angela, Suarez, Talyado, Tamayo, Tambunting, Tan Joseph, Tan Keith Micah, Tan Reynolds Michael, Tan Samir, Tan Stephen James, Tan Tambut, Tan Chay, Tan Huatco, Tariela, Teodoro, Teves Arnolfo, Teves Jose, Tiangco, Tieng, Tolentino, Tulfo Jocelyn, Tulfo Ralph Wendell, Tupas, Tutor, T, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Valeriano, Valmayor, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Velasco, Veloso Tuazon, Vergara, Versosa, Villa, Villafuerte Luis Raymond, Villafuerte Miguel Luis, Villanueva, Villar, Villaraza Suarez, Villarica, Violago, Yap Christiantel, Yap Christopherson, Yap Edvic, Yap Eric, Yu Divina Grace, Yu Giselle Victoria, Yulo, Zamora Amparo Maria, Zamora Maria Carmen, Zamora Isabel Maria, Zubiri. Mr. Speaker, the roll call shows that 311 members responded to the call.
With 311 members responding to the call, the chair declares the presence of a quorum. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, consider that copies of Journal Number Mr. Speaker, I move that we now proceed with the reference of business and request that the Secretary General be directed to read the titles of bills and resolutions on first reading and committee reports.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read the titles of bills and resolutions on first reading, as well as the communications and committee reports for referral to the appropriate committees.
Reference of business. Bills on first reading. House Bill 6806, creating the Council for the Built Environment, by Representative Olivares.
To the Committee on Civil Service and Professional Regulation.
House Bill 6807, declaring a national policy for sports as an engine for nation building, social progress, and promotion of total human development, and creating the Department of Sports, by Representative Olivares.
To the Committee on Government Reorganization and the Committee on Youth and Sports Development.
House Bill 6808, declaring the Binyan Heritage District in the city of Binyan a National Historical Cultural Heritage Zone, by Representative Alonte.
To the Committee on Tourism.
House Bill 6809, establishing the Philippine National Public Park System, by Representative Tambunting.
To the Committee on Public Works and Highways.
House Bill 6810, institutionalizing expanding the National Employment Recovery Strategy to a National Employment Action Plan, by Representative Tambunting.
To the Committee on Labor and Employment.
House Bill 6811, promoting menstrual hygiene by providing for free menstrual products to students in public schools and public health centers, by Representative Hernandez.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 6812, providing for the conversion of LTO Extension Office in Trento, Agusan del Sur to be known as the LTO District Office of Trento, Agusan del Sur, by Representatives Plaza and Bascub.
To the Committee on Transportation.
House Bill 6813, strengthening beneficiary identification and targeting mechanisms, inclusion of a food and nutrition grant by Representative Daza.
to the Committee on Poverty Alleviation,
House Bill 6814, establishing Quezon City as the country's health and wellness capital by Representative Vargas.
to the Committee on Health,
House Bill 6815, modernizing the criminal investigation techniques of law enforcement agencies by Representative Vargas.
to the Committee on Public Order and Safety,
House Bill 6816, establishing community gardens in all barangays across the country by Representative Vargas.
to the Committee on Agriculture and Food,
House Bill 6817, reapportioning the lone legislative district of the City of Iloilo by Representative Baronda.
to the Committee on Local Government,
House Bill 6818, granting the municipal government of Talisayan, Misamis Oriental a franchise to construct, install, establish, operate, and maintain a frequency modulation FM radio broadcasting station in the eastern part of Misamis Oriental by Representative Unabia.
to the Committee on Legislative Franchises,
House Bill 6819, establishing a rent-a-bike program in Barangay Nagkaisang Nayon, District 5, Quezon City by Representative Vargas.
to the Committee on Transportation,
House Bill number 6820 to 6833, honoring and granting additional benefits to exemplary citizens of several barangays in District 5, Quezon City by Representative Vargas.
to the Committee on Local Government,
House Bill 6834, establishing a rent-a-bike program in every city and municipality across the country by Representative Vargas.
to the Committee on Transportation,
House Bill 6835 to 6847, establishing a rent-a-bike program in several barangays in District 5, Quezon City by Representative Vargas.
to the Committee on Transportation,
House Bill 6848, upgrading the Quirino Province Medical Center as a tertiary general hospital under the direct supervision and control of the Department of Health by Representative Cua.
to the Committee on Health,
House Bill 6849, mandating the inclusion of a cooperative development course in the higher education curriculum of state universities and colleges and local universities and colleges by Representative Cua.
to the Committee on Higher and Technical Education,
House Bill 6850, amending RA 10583, converting the Mountain Province State Polytechnic College in Bontoc Mountain Province into the Mountain Province State University by Representative Dalog.
to the Committee on Higher and Technical Education,
House Bill 6851, providing for a responsive and comprehensive regulation of the licensing, regulation, registration, certification, and practice of environmental and sanitary engineers, environmental and sanitary technologists, and environmental and sanitary technicians in the Philippines by Representative Cruz Ambrosio.
to the Committee on Civil Service and Professional Regulation,
Resolutions. House Resolution 701, honoring the life of Lieutenant Colonel Isabelito P. Flores and expressing profound condolences of the House of Representatives to his family on his demise by Representatives Villafuerte Miguel Luis and Villafuerte Luis Raymond.
to the Committee on Rules,
House Resolution 702, commending and congratulating the Team ECHO for winning the M4 World Championship by Representative Tam Bunting.
to the Committee on Youth and Sports Development,
House Resolution 703, urging the Committee on Banks and Financial Intermediaries to investigate immediately the revocation of license Manila Teacher Savings and Loan Association by Representative Lacson.
to the Committee on Rules,
House Resolution 704, congratulating and commending the Barangay Ginebra San Miguel for winning the 2022 PBA Commissioner's Cup against a foreign basketball team by Representative Plato.
to the Committee on Youth and Sports Development,
House Resolution 705, strongly urging the National Police Commission to effect an immediate conversion, reorganization, and/or upgrading, as the case may be, of the Caloocan Police Station into a police district by Representative Malapitan.
to the Committee on Public Order and Safety,
House Resolution 706, directing the House Committee on Appropriations to conduct an inquiry on the utilization of the funds appropriated under the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Fund for the past 10 years by Representative Suarez.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 707, urging the Committee on Energy to investigate the impending plan of the National Power Corporation to reduce the number of operating hours of power plants in areas under the Small Power Utilities Group and to intervene and aid the National Power Corporation to augment their budget allocation for fuel for fiscal year 2023 by Representatives Dagook and De Jesus.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Concurrent Resolution 7, granting consent to Mr. Delphine N. Lorenzana, BCDA Chairman and former Secretary of National Defense, and Mr. Gamaliel Asis Cordoba, COA Chairman and former NTC Commissioner, to receive the Order of the Rising Sun Gold and Silver Star from the Government of Japan on their contributions to Philippine-Japan relations by Representative Arenas.
To the Committee on Foreign Affairs.
Communication. Letter dated January 16, 2023 of the BSP Acting Deputy Director, Office of the General Counsel and Legal Services, transmitting to the House of Representatives duly certified copies of certain BSP issuances.
To the Committee on Banks and Financial Intermediaries. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we suspend the session for a few minutes.
Session suspended.
Eh, nagsabaw. Eh.
Sessions resume. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, may I acknowledge and recognize the following members of the Diplomatic Corps from the ASEAN and EU.
Please proceed, Majority Leader.
Ambassador Jana Sediva from the Czech Republic. Ambassador Titinila To from Hungary. Ambassador Luc Veron, European Union Delegation. Ambassador Marco Clemente from Italy. Ambassador Annika Thunberg from Sweden. Ambassador William Carlos, Embassy of Ireland. Ambassador Raduta Dana Matache from Romania. Ambassador Mariel Garatz, Embassy of Netherlands. Ambassador Dr. Johan Breiger from Austria. Ambassador Hong Hai Chung from Vietnam. Ambassador Sonisai Vanase from Lao PDR. From the Deputy of Missions, Mr. Remy Tirotu Varayan of France. Miss Fadziliani Anwar of Brunei. Mr. Haroslo Shepankevich of Poland. Mr. Speaker, may we ask for 1 minute suspension so we can
Session
go around
suspended.
and
Majority.
greet our visitors.
Session suspended.
May we request the members of the Diplomatic Corps to come up front so we can have our photo opportunity. Thank you.
Our House members,
Your session resume. Or session suspended. Your Excellencies, welcome to the House of Representatives. Palakpakan po natin.
Once again, may we have our guests from the members of the Diplomatic Corps to come up on stage. And also, may we also ask our members of the House to join us in the photo opportunity with our visitors. Thank you.
Kailangan nandyan.
Ano na yung mga... Mamaya na tayo mag-picture. Ano ka muna?
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. Maraming salamat po, Your Excellencies. Sessions resume. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, considering that copies of Journal Number 41 dated December 15, 2022 have already been distributed to the members, I move that we dispense with the reading of the said journal.
Is there any objection? Chair is none. Motion is carried. Majority Leader. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the approval of Journal Number 41.
Is there any objection? The Honorable Majority Leader, before we approve the said journal, I was informed by the Secretariat that the corrections of the Journal Number 41 in the results of the voting of the following House bills. Number 1, on page 22, the corrected result for the House Bill Number 1 is as follows. Affirmative votes should be 284 instead of 282. Negative votes remain at 0, and abstention also remained at 0. On the page 24, the result of the voting on the House Bill Number 6687 is as follows. Affirmative votes should be 278 instead of 276. The negative votes, the abstention remain at 4 and 1 respectively. Finally, on page 27, the result of the voting of House Bill Number 6608 should be 280 instead of 279. Affirmative votes, the negative votes remain at 6, and the abstention also remains at 0. In view thereof, let the records reflect the said results. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I therefore move for the approval of Journal Number 41 dated December 15, 2022 as corrected.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The journal was approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, in accordance with our rules governing inquiries in aid of legislation, I move that we refer the following House resolutions to the appropriate committees. House Resolution 599 to the Committee on Local Government. House Resolution 600 to the Committee on Trade and Industry. House Resolution 602 to the Committee on Energy. House Resolution 610 to the Committee on Health. House Resolution 611 to the Committee on Ways and Means. House Resolution 614 to the Committee on Public Works and Highways. House Resolution 615 to the Committee on Agrarian Reform. House Resolution 621 to the Committee on Health. House Resolution 622 to the Committee on Trade and Industry. House Resolution 632 to the Committee on Banks and Financial Intermediaries. House Resolution 634 to the Committee on Labor and Employment. And House Resolution 638 to the Committee on Justice.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The following House resolutions, the aforementioned House resolution governing inquiries in aid of legislation, be referred to the following and appropriate committees. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to our rules governing inquiries in aid of legislation, I move that we refer the following speeches to the appropriate committees. Speech by Representative Copilar, date delivered December 5th, 2022, referred to the Housing and Urban Development. By Representative Castro, last December 25, 2022, to the Committee on Human Rights. By Representative Matugas, delivered last December 12, 2022, to the Committee on Disaster Resilience. By Representative Gonzales, delivered last December 12, 2022, to the Committee on Public Works and Highways. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to refer to the appropriate committees. Is there any objection? The chair is none. The aforementioned privileged speeches be referred to the appropriate committees. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the change of referral of the following measures. House Resolution Number 145 from the Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms to the Committees on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms and Public Accounts. House Resolution Number 146 from the Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms to the Committees on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms and Public Accounts. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to refer and change the referral of the following measures. House Resolution Number 145 and House Resolution Number 146. Is there any objection? The chair is none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, may we recognize the following guests here with us here today. Guests of Representative Eric Reyes Buhain, Mayor Ian Kenneth Alilio from the Municipality of Lemery, Batangas, Councilor Aris Kenneth Punsalan, Admin Honorlito Solis, Barangay Captain Roger Ricalde, and Rustico Punsalan.
To the guests of Congressman Eric Reyes Buhain, welcome to the House of the People. Palakpakan po natin ang guest ni Congressman Eric. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move for a few minutes suspension.
Session suspended.
Yes, close the sponsors ng debate. Yeah. May amendments lang daw si mamaya kunin mo naman para rin ako. Sige. Ano? Ayun.
Sessions resume. Majority Leader. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, under the calendar of unfinished business, I move that we resume consideration of House Bill 6572 as contained in Committee Report number 223, submitted, and for this purpose, may I ask that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The Secretary General is now directed to read the title of the proposed House Bill.
House Bill number 6572, an act establishing the public schools of the future in technology and appropriating funds therefore.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the parliamentary status of the bill is in the period of sponsorship and debate. May I move to recognize the Basic Education and Culture Chairman and sponsor, Representative Roman Romulo, to sponsor the measure.
The gentleman from Pasig, the chairman of Basic Ed, Congressman Roman Romulo, is
Thank
now
you, Mr.
recognized.
Speaker. Thank you, Majority Leader, members of the House. Yesterday, I had the honor to sponsor the House Bill number 6572, and we are ready to receive any queries, if any, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no members of the House who wish to interpolate, I move that we terminate the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, we will now terminate the period of sponsorship. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
Period of amendments. There is a motion to open the period of amendments. Is there any objection? Chair is none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no individual or committee amendments, I move that we...
Mr. Speaker?
Majority Leader, the gentleman from Pangasinan,
Mr. Speaker, I move to withdraw my motion, Mr. Speaker.
your motion is approved. Motion. Majority Leader.
There being no committee amendments, I move that we proceed to the individual amendments, Mr. Speaker.
There is no objection. We will now go to the individual amendment. Your motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize our Representative Toph de Venecia of the 4th District of Pangasinan for his individual amendment.
Congressman Toph de Venecia is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The first amendment amends Section 6 to read as follows. Section 6, creation of the PSOFT Interagency Task Force. There is hereby created the PSOFT IATF. The PSOFT IATF shall, in consultation with concerned non-government entities, including private companies, non-profit organizations, and private education institutions, develop the PSOFT roadmap, etc., etc., insert the phrase and parenthesis 6, close parenthesis, Executive Director of the Philippine Creative Industries Development Council, parenthesis PCIDC, close parenthesis, period, after the clause number 5, Director General of the Philippine Space Agency, or PhilSA.
What does the sponsor say?
I'm sorry. And on the fourth paragraph, subject to the approval of the DBM, the DepEd DICT, bracket, and close bracket, PhilSA, insert the clause, and the PCIDC.
Thank you, Congressman Toph. What does the sponsor say?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, with the intelligence of the gentleman from the 4th District of Pangasinan, as we had discussed this during the committee meeting, the proposed amendment on Section 6 is something that the committee, this chairman, cannot accept. For the simple reason that careful perusal of the agencies involved would show that these are all department secretaries. the executive director of the PCIDC may be given a role later on as a technical staff. So with the kind understanding of the gentleman from the 4th District of Pangasinan, this representation will not accept that proposed amendment.
So what does the majority leader say? Majority leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we adopt the position of the chairman of the Basic Ed and Culture.
Is there any objection? We will adopt the sponsors, Congressman Romulo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Leader.
Thank you to the gentleman from the 4th District of Pangasinan.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, second amendment is on section 12 to read as follows. After the clause, paragraph F, Insights of Republic Act number 10175 or the Cybercrime Prevention Act and other related legislation, insert the clause, semicolon, and paragraph G, respect for intellectual property rights.
What does the sponsor say?
Mr. Speaker, we accept the proposed amendment from the gentleman from the 4th District of Pangasinan.
Majority leader.
On the part of the House, I move that we approve the amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? Amendment is approved. Majority leader.
The third amendment, Mr. Speaker, is on section 14 to read as follows. Section 14, DepEd e-learning resources. The DepEd shall develop an online portal that provides access or links to internet learning resources. The online portal shall include the following: ebooks and videos, learning materials and teachers' guides, materials for senior high school subjects ranging from math, disaster readiness, and science, materials on science, agriculture. Insert the clause creative industries after that, Mr. Speaker.
What does the sponsor say?
Mr. Speaker, Majority Leader, we accept the proposed amendment.
Majority leader. Majority leader.
Mr. Speaker, on the part of the House, we move that we approve the amendment.
The amendment is now approved. Majority leader.
The fourth amendment, Mr. Speaker, is on section 16, Internet Safety Policy. After paragraph F, which reads, education of parents to augment school initiatives on safe internet use, insert the clause, semicolon, and paragraph G, protection against online sexual abuse and exploitation of children pursuant to Republic Act number 11930 or the Anti-Online Sexual Abuse and Exploitation of Children Act.
What does the sponsor say?
Mr. Speaker, Majority Leader, we accept the proposed amendment.
What does the majority leader say?
On the part of the House, we move that we approve the amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The amendment is now approved. Majority leader. Congressman Toff.
Mr. Speaker, could I ask for a quick suspension?
Session suspended. Session is resumed. Majority leader.
Mr. Speaker, the Fifth Amendment will be on section 19D to read as follows. Paragraph D, the DOST, CHED, TESDA, DILG, NLP, NBDB, PSA, insert the clause Philippine Creative Industries Development Council and the subsequent text thereafter.
What does the sponsor say?
Mr. Speaker, Majority Leader, we accept the proposed amendment.
What does the majority leader say?
On the part of the House, we move that we approve the amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the amendment is approved. Majority leader.
That's all. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to our distinguished sponsor.
Thank you, Congressman Toff, De Venecia, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no other individual amendments, I move that we close the period of amendments.
We will now close the period of amendments. Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we now vote on second reading. Second reading, House Bill number 6572 as amended, as contained in Committee Report 223, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to approve House Bill number 6572. On part, is there any objection on the part of the House? Those who are in favor, please say aye. And those who are against, please say nay. The ayes have it. So House Bill number 6572 is now approved on second reading. As amended, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, under business for the day, I move that we consider or begin deliberations on House Bill 6680 as contained in Committee Report 250, and that the Secretary General be directed to read the same measure. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The Secretary General is now directed to read the title of the proposed House Bill number 6680.
House Bill number 6680, an act granting full insurance coverage to all qualified agrarian reform beneficiaries of the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, amending for the purpose Republic Act number 6657 as amended by Republic Act number 9700, otherwise known as the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law of 1988.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the sponsorship and debate, the period of sponsorship and debate. So move, Mr. Speaker.
We will now open the period of sponsorship and debate. Is there any objection? The chair is none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the Chairman of Agrarian Reform, Representative Solomon Chungalao, for his sponsorship speech. So move, Mr. Speaker.
The Chairman of Agrarian Reform, Congressman Chungalao, is now recognized.
Thank
Yes, sir.
you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Master for Leader, and dear colleagues of this August Chamber, I wish to express my appreciation to the House leadership and its entire membership for the inclusion of our measure in today's plenary agenda. Finally, I stand before you this afternoon to sponsor a very significant piece of legislation that would provide immediate financial assistance to affected agrarian reform beneficiaries, ARBs, in the event of natural calamities in order to make losses more bearable and to mitigate its effect by granting insurance to qualified farmers. The measure I am referring to is a substitute measure now, House Bill numbers 3178 and 3839, entitled An Act Granting Full Insurance Coverage to All Qualified Agrarian Reform Beneficiaries of the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, amending for the purpose Republic Act number 6657 as amended by Republic Act 9700, otherwise known as the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law of 1988, authored by Representative Christy Sison Mehan and Congressman Ralph G. Recto. Mr. Speaker, this will provide the agrarian reform beneficiaries with the much-needed insurance protection against compensable losses arising from natural calamities, plant diseases, and pest infestation of their crops. Crops such as palay, corn, sugar cane, high-value crops, coconut, tobacco, and other farming and fishery produce and livestock are likewise covered. The insurance cover includes the loss of life or injuries to the qualified ARBs due to accident or any of the cited causes. The measure will also provide a positive impact on the lives of the farmer beneficiaries and will ensure the efficiency of support services accorded by the Department of Agrarian Reform for the sector. In this manner, it will pressure off the ARBs in managing risks arising from the production of commodities, price variability, and rise against poverty. Further, the concerns of the ARBs in situations beyond their control, like the increasingly unpredictable weather patterns and adverse weather conditions brought on by the intensifying climate change and weather uncertainties will be addressed accordingly. It will also provide the ARBs with a safety net against crop pests and diseases. Similarly, it will also serve as a credit reduction mechanism and a surrogate capital for actual capital and will facilitate credit access, especially formal lending institutions like the Land Bank of the Philippines, which require agricultural insurance from ARB borrowers. Hence, the agricultural insurance program of the government shall be administered by the Philippine Crop Insurance Corporation, created to PD 1467 as amended by PD 8175. The best interest of the crop beneficiaries and the national economy will be afforded the highest consideration. More importantly, this will provide for a choice of insurance windows for the ARBs and address the various issues that impedes the availment of insurance in agriculture. In contrast to some of farm strategies that contribute to financial loss, this substitute bill will allow mitigation from severe correlated risks. Lastly, its passage will enable the DAR to support the ARBs in its biggest and broadest enterprise to date as a mechanism in managing risk which the ARBs can cost-free avail and utilize. To this end, the risk-adverse ARBs will be encouraged to engage in riskier and more profitable activities such as adoption of higher yielding varieties. Mr. Speaker and esteemed colleagues, we are compelled to abide by our primary function as enshrined in our preamble, which states that we should fulfill the constitutional duty to make laws and respond to the needs of the Filipino people and fulfill the aspiration for a just and human society where every Filipino can enjoy the blessings of freedom, democracy, under a government is strengthened by the rule of law, social justice, and people empowerment. I earnestly implore your support for the passage of this bill. Thank you. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Sponsor, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no members who wish to interpolate, I move that we conclude the period of sponsorship and debate. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The period of sponsorship is now closed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
There is a motion to open the period of amendment. Is there any objection? The chair is none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no committee amendments, I move that we now proceed to consider the individual amendments. So move, Mr. Speaker.
We will now proceed to the individual amendment. Is there any objection? The chair is none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize Representative Arlene Brosas from Gabriela Party List to introduce her proposed amendments. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Congresswoman Arlene Brosas is now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on House Bill 6680, page 1, section 1, we would like to amend on line 24 to 26, read as G, full insurance coverage for compensable losses to all qualified agrarian reform beneficiaries who are actually tilling the land, period, and delete the following statements of page 1, lines 27 to 32, and delete the following lines 1 to 4 of page 2 of the said section. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
What does the sponsors say?
We accept, Mr. Speaker.
What does the Majority Leader say?
On the part of the House, I move that we accept the proposed amendments, Mr. Speaker.
The amendment is now accepted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, there being no members who wish to introduce individual amendments, I move that we close the period of amendments.
We will now close the period of individual amendment. Is there any objection? The chair is none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we approve on second reading House Bill 6680. So move, as amended. So move, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to approve House Bill number 6680 on second reading. All those who are in favor, please say aye. Aye. And those who are against, please say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill number 6680 is now approved on second reading. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend session for a few minutes.
Session suspended. Ramon, hello? Hello? Sessions resume. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, under the calendar of business for the day, I move that we consider House Bill number 206 as contained in Committee Report number 215 submitted by the Committee of Government Enterprises and Privatization and request that the Secretary General be instructed to read the title of the bill.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The Secretary General is now directed to read the title of the proposed House Bill number 206.
House Bill number 206, an act lowering the optional retirement age of government workers from 60 years to 56 years, amending for the purpose Section 13-A of Republic Act number 8291, otherwise known as the Government Service Insurance System Act of 1997.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of sponsorship and debate.
The period of sponsorship and debate is now open. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize Representative Edwin Olivares from the 1st District of Parañaque City to deliver his sponsorship speech.
Chairman Edwin Olivares, of the 1st District of Parañaque City, my party mates, you are now recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of this august chamber, my esteemed colleagues. Today, the Committee of Government Enterprises and Privatization submit for your consideration a bill that will amend the optional retirement age of government workers from 60 years old to 56 years old. House Bill number 206 is a consolidation bill with House Bill numbers 634, 1640, 1644, 1988, 2232, 3480, 3653, 3920, 4003, 4069, 5213, and 5678. House Bill 206 is motivated by humanitarian and rational consideration. The members of our committee have agreed that workers in the government who have served at the minimum of 15 years in government service and are already 56 years old should be given the option to terminate their employment with entitlement to old age pension for life. In addition to the thousands of petitions, written and verbal, urging for the passage of these measures since the first version of this bill was filed as early as the 16th Congress, the authors are personally aware that there are workers in government who are no longer able to work diligently, not because they have become incompetent or lazy, but because, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic, government workers were not spared from the long-term effects of the pandemic and other age-related illness. Some workers also suffer from failing health due to work-related and other sources of stress, which have also affected their emotional and mental states. Work-related stressors come in the form of failure to adapt to the changing work condition, such as mechanization and computerization, or additional workload not directly related to their professions, and training with no corresponding additional remuneration. Certain work conditions such as nepotism, unprofessionalism, politics, etc., within the office involving promotion and assignment of stations are also major stressors for many workers. Unfortunately, many of our sick and exhausted workers, some even reporting to the office carrying oxygen tanks or filing extended unpaid leaves, would be unable to apply for retirement because doctors would not find the physical manifestation or signs and symptoms that will qualify them to be declared as permanently disabled. Thus, they are forced to hold on their jobs because retiring the government service for 60 years of age will mean immediate loss of income. On the position that the life of the GSIS retirement fund will reduce by at least 4 years if this bill is adopted, such position assumes that 100% of government workers who will reach 56 years old of age will actually retire. This conclusion is improbable because the fact is, and is admitted by the GSIS, the average age of retirement of the government service under the present optional retirement age policy is actually 62 years old. Majority of government workers who are 60 years of age are physically fit and highly motivated under favorable working condition, do not avail of the early retirement option. We see no reason why this trend would change if we lower the optional retirement age of 56, especially the government pay is now comparable, if not better, for some position and in certain agencies to those in the private sector. Additionally, contrary to the fear that government service will suffer if we lower the retirement age, we favor the argument of the authors and the various groups who participated in the committee deliberation, not only during the 19th Congress, that this measure is beneficial to government service. If we allow our sick or tired senior workers to retire early, it will enable government agencies to employ young, competent, and qualified workers that will bring fresh ideas, are computer literate, and trained to compete in the international labor market. Considering that the present unemployment rate among our college graduate is quite high, especially in the provinces, this bill will lure our young and brilliant graduates to serve the country in their prime instead of being pushed to take their skill abroad by working as OFWs. Mr. Speaker, and dear colleagues, we reiterate that we are positively responding to the thousands of petitions from employees group all over the country, for most of which are our public school teachers. We urge this Congress to respond positively as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sponsor. The Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we also recognize Representative Franz Castro from the ACT Teachers Party List to begin her sponsorship of the measure.
Congresswoman Franz, you are recognized po.
Maraming salamat, Ginoong Speaker. Ginoong Speaker at mga kamambabatas, ikinalulugod po ng Committee on Government Enterprise and Privatization na isumiti ngayon sa plenaryo ang Committee Report 215 na naglalaman ng House Bill 206 ng Makabayan Black at ang iba pa pong mga kongresista. Ito po yung an act lowering the optional retirement age of government workers from 60 years old to 56 years old. Amending for the purpose Section 13A of Republic Act 8291, otherwise known as the Government Service Insurance System Act of 1997. Nasa likod po ng panukalang ito ang maraming konsiderasyonal, legal, rasyonal at humanitarian. Isa rito ang 1991 United Nations Principles of Older Persons na nagsasabing, Older persons should be able to participate in determining when and at what pace withdrawal from the labor force takes place. Unquote. Alinsunod po dito, kami sa komite ay sumasang-ayon na ang mga kawani ng pamahalaan na nakapagsilbi na ng 15 taon sa minimum at umaabot ng 56 years old ay dapat bigyan ng layang makapag-retire na may benepisyong old age pension habang sila ay nabubuhay. Ginoong Speaker at mga kasamahang mambabatas, simula noong 16th Congress pa namin unang hiniain ang ganitong panawagan na nagmula lamang sa malawak na sektoral na kahilingan mula sa mga public school teachers. At sa paglipas ng 9 na taon, naging mas responsive ang panukalang ito sa kahilingan ng maraming government employees, gaya ng education sector personnel, ang mga nasa sektor pangkalusugan, local government units, sangay hudikatura at iba pang mga opisina ng pamahalaan. Sa panahong ito, nakatanggap ang aming opisina at committee ng napakaraming position paper, mensahe at iba pang mga pahayag ng pagtutulak na pagsuporta para sa maagang optional retirement age. Ang pinakamalaking sektor ng pamahalaan ay ang edukasyon, kalusugan at social welfare, kung saan marami ang empleyadong ilang taon na lang ay senior citizen na. Ang mga opisina ring pinakamahirap at pinakanakapagod ang trabaho. Marami sa mga kababayan nating ito ay may mga inaalagaan ng mga may sakit at may kondisyon. Hindi na kaya at hindi na mainam para sa kanilang kalusugan ang araw-araw na pagsabak sa work-related at iba pang uri ng stress. Mga kasamahan ko sa Kamara, napakalupit ng kasalukuyang batas para sa mga kababayang nating ito. Oo, maaari ring mag-apply for retirement due to permanent disability, pero marami sa kanila ang hindi pasok sa mga kondisyon ng GSIS para rito. At syempre, mas maliit ang benepisyo nito. Kadalasan, napipilitan na lang silang mag-unpaid leaves na paulit-ulit o sa mahabang panahon. Kung umaalis naman sila bago mag 60 years old, wala silang income sa kasalukuyan at wala na ring maasahang retirement pay sa hinaharap. Kung papipiliin lang sila, hindi na sila nanaising magtiis sa ganitong prospects. At marami nang nagsabi sa amin, sana ay ma-enjoy namin ang aming retirement habang kakayanin pa namin ang ma-enjoy ito. Hiling naming mga authors at committee na dinggin ang kahilingang ito ng mga kawani ng pamahalaan na 56 hanggang 64 years old kaysa alarmistang posisyon ng GSIS na iiksi raw ang actuarial life nito at hindi makakayanang bayaran ang social insurance fund and liabilities nito at bababa ang buwanang pensyon na maibibigay nila. Ang mga estima ng GSIS ay batay sa parameters na pinapalagay na 100% ng mga government employees na 56 hanggang 64 ay mag-a-avail ng optional retirement. Bagay na imposible at kontra sa datos ng GSIS mismo na nagsasabing 62 years old ang average age ng optional retirement. Wala rin sa kalkulasyon nila ang pagpasok sa gobyerno ng mga bagong kawani at posibilidad na marami sa mga ito ay mas bata at mas mahaba ang contributing period sa GSIS. At higit sa lahat, hindi kinokonsidera ng GSIS na magsagawa ito ng mga reforma sa kanilang pamamalakad, paniningil sa employers at iba pang mga polisiya upang mapabuti ang pinansya nito at mapahaba ang actuarial life nito. Bagay na dapat na ginagawa nito sa ilalim ng RA 8291 o charter nito. Sa makatuwid, dapat ipasa na natin at sa pinakamadaling panahon ang House Bill 206 gaya ng pag-aproba natin ito noong 17th and 18th Congress. Maraming salamat, Ginoong Speaker, at sa ating mga kamambabatas.
Thank you, Congresswoman Franz, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no member who wished to interpolate, I move that we terminate the period of sponsorship and debate.
We will now terminate the sponsorship and debate. Is there any objection? The chair is none. Motion is carried. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? The period of amendment is now open. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no individual or committee amendments, I move that we close the period of amendments.
The period of amendment is now closed. Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion is carried. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading, House Bill number 206. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to approve House Bill number 206 on second reading. All those in favor, please say aye. And those who are against, please say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill number 206 is now approved on second reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider House Resolution number 620 under Committee Report number 214, and that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the resolution.
There is a motion. Is there any objection? The chair is none. The Secretary General is now directed to read the title of the bill, the House Joint Resolution for the Committee Report number 221. Secretary General, please proceed. 214, yes.
House Resolution. Row.
A correction, please. A majority leader. That is House Resolution number
620.
620. So House Resolution number 620. Please proceed, Secgen.
House Resolution 620. Resolution congratulating and commending Ms. Gina Apostol for winning the 2022 Rome Prize in Literature awarded by the American Academy in Rome, Italy for her novel entitled The Treatment of Paz.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we adopt House Resolution number 620 under Committee Report number 214.
There is a motion to adopt House Resolution number 620 and Committee Report number 214. Those who are in favor, please say aye. Those who are against, please say nay. The ayes have it. House Resolution number 620 and 214 is now adopted. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I now move that we consider House Resolution number 650 under Committee Report number 249, and that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the House Resolution.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The Secretary General is now directed to read the title of the proposed House Bill. House Resolution, sorry.
House Resolution 650. Resolution calling for the immediate participation by the Philippine Government of International Labor Organization Convention number 190, otherwise known as the Violence and Harassment Convention 2019.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I now move that we adopt House Resolution number 650 under Committee Report number 249.
There is a motion to adopt House Resolution number 650 and Committee Report 249. Those who are in favor, please say aye. Those who are against, please say nay. The ayes have it. House Resolution number 650, Committee Report number 249 is now adopted. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I now move that we suspend the session for a few minutes.
Session suspended. Session resumed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider House Bill number 6505 as contained in Committee Report 201. And I request, therefore, that the Secretary General be instructed to read the title of the bill.
There is a motion to approve House Bill number 6505 under Committee Report 201 and now directed to the Secretary General to read the title of the proposed House Bill.
House Bill number 6505, an act renewing for another 25 years the franchise granted to Intercontinental Broadcasting Corporation under Republic Act number 8954, entitled An Act Granting the Intercontinental Broadcasting Corporation a franchise to construct, install, establish, operate, and maintain radio and television broadcasting stations in the Philippines.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we now open the period of sponsorship and debate.
We will now open the period of sponsorship and debate. Is there any objection? Chair is none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the chairperson and the sponsor of legislative franchises, Representative Congressman Gus Tambunting of the 2nd District of Parañaque City, be recognized to begin the sponsorship of this measure.
The chairman of the legislative franchises, Congressman Gus Tambunting, is now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my colleagues. Article 2, Section 24 of the 1987 Constitution expressly provides that the state recognizes the vital role of communication in the formation of nation building. The vision of IBC 13 to be a public children's educational network in partnership with the Department of Education and with every Filipino family, IBC 13 will be geared towards the education of our greatest national resource, the Filipino youth, providing programming that promotes positive Filipino values, good morals, and right conduct, while correcting outdated traditional behavior that is a continuing obstacle to the development and progress. The mission of IBC 13 is to inspire the brilliant children towards a brighter tomorrow and a better Philippines. Distinguished members of the House of Representatives, I ask for approval for the franchise of IBC 13 for them to achieve their vision, mission for the Filipino people. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Ginoong Sponsor. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker,
Please proceed.
I now move that we terminate the period of sponsorship and debate.
We will now terminate the sponsorship and debate. Is there any objection? The chair is none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we now open the period of amendments.
We will now open the period of amendment. Is there any objection? The chair is none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no other committee or individual amendments, I move that we close the period of amendments.
We will now close the period of amendments. Is there any objection? The chair is none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we now vote on second reading House Bill number 6505 as contained on Committee Report 201.
There is a motion to approve House Bill 6505 under Committee Report 201 on second reading. All those in favor, please say aye. And those who are against, please say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill number 6505 under Committee Report 201 is now approved, hereby approved on second reading.
Thank you, Mr.
Majority
Speaker.
Leader.
Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you, Mr. Sponsor.
Mr. Speaker, I move for a few minutes of suspension.
Session suspended. Okay na, no? Tutuan, di ba? Tutuan. si Joji. Thank you, ha. Sessions resume. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we take into consideration House Joint Resolution number 14 under Committee Report number 221 and that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the resolution.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The Secretary General is now directed to read the title of House Bill number HJR, House Joint Resolution number 14 under Committee Report number 221.
House Joint Resolution Number 14, Joint Resolution extending the life of the Congressional Oversight Committee on Dangerous Drugs, constituted pursuant to Section 95 of Republic Act Number 9165 as amended, otherwise known as the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002, to another 10 years from July 4, 2022 to July 4, 2032.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of sponsorship and debate and that we recognize the Honorable Robert H. Barbers of the 2nd District of Surigao del Norte for his sponsorship speech.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The sponsorship and debate is now open. May I now recognize Congressman Ace Barbers.
Thank
You are
you,
now
Mr.
recognized, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as the chair of the Committee on Dangerous Drugs, pursuant to Section 97 of Republic Act 9165, it is enjoined that the Committee on Oversight on Dangerous Drugs be created. And pursuant to this provision, Mr. Speaker, I move that we adopt the whereases as well as approve the said committee report, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Sponsor. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, since that there is no member who wishes to interpolate, I move that we close the period of sponsorship and debate.
The sponsorship and debate is now closed. Is there any objection? The chair is none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Speaker, I now move that we open the period for individual and committee amendments.
Individual and committee amendment is now open. Is there any objection? The chair is none. The motion is carried. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, since that there are no committee or individual amendments, I now move that we close the period for amendments.
We will now close the period of amendments. Is there any objection? The chair is done. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I now move that we adopt House Joint Resolution number 14. I move that we approve on second reading House Joint Resolution number 14.
There is a motion to approve House Joint Resolution number 14 under Committee Report number 221 on second reading. Is there any objection? The chair is none. All those who are in favor, please say aye. Aye. And those who are against, please say nay. The ayes have it. House Joint Resolution number 14 under Committee Report number 221 is now approved on second reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I now move that we suspend the session for a few minutes.
Session suspended.
lapit na. Nintay lang ma-post sa journal. Sige, sige. Sige, sige. Okay lang, okay lang.
License.
Sessions resumed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we approve Journal Number 42, dated January 23, 2023. So move, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to approve our Journal number 42, dated January 23, 2023, last Monday. The journal is now approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we now adjourn our session and resume on Monday, January 30, 2023 at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? Chair is none. Session is adjourned until Monday, January 30 at 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
Sige. Di ba may ganun pa? Yan. Yan.
Yes, boss.
Hindi, huwag ka tumingin kasi. Huwag ka tumingin, ganyan lang. Ayan na. Later. Picture na tayo.